running that pick and roll a few times late in the game last night. What did you really like about the way y'all were executing that late in the game to close it out?
I just like the force behind it. I thought that Z ran into screens with a lot of speed and it caused the defense to be indecisive. And we were just able to make good plays out of it. He was able to get downhill, and I was able to find my shots in the midst of it a little bit too.
And that's something y'all have been talking about for a couple of years, figuring out how to use that as a weapon late in games. What's been the key to kind of figuring that out where y'all both can be effective in that situation?
Just having space around it. I think most of the time me and Z haven't been on the floor together. It's been first quarter and fourth quarter mostly. We know at the end of the day that they want the ball in our hands, and we got to figure out what makes sense in our spacing, whether it's pick and roll, whether it's getting Z in the ISO with a mismatch, whether it's me with a mismatch. We just got to figure it out.
Yeah, do you and Z talk, like, especially now in games when you guys are so short, that something one of you may notice, tell the other, and then you guys go out and try and do it, run it?
And I think right now it's forcing us to do it even more, but we always go to each other and tell each other what we see on the basketball floor to try to make it easier for each other. If we got a mismatch, maybe he has a spin lob. If I see him in transition, if I see something on the floor, we always share.
When you play with pace, the game is easy for you. Like, you get to whatever spot you want, you get to the rim at will, you get to free throw line. Just, is there a balance for you in terms of like go versus surveying the floor, taking your time, picking your spots and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all depends on spacing, how the floor looks. Sometimes with good defensive teams, they like to pack the paint and force some of our guys to shoot the basketball on the perimeter. But I think it all dictates off spacing. If I can have a burst and have pace, then that's great. But it's always good when you have spacing that you can burst into.
And do you think sometimes spacing can also be generated by just pacing the half-court sets as well, just getting to the spots quickly?
Yeah, I think half court and full court though. I think our best offense is when we get out in transition and we can flatten the defense out a little bit. But I think it all depends on the personnel on the floor. Smart teams know how to defend us when we got guys on the floor that can't shoot the basketball really well. So, it's just about where we put guys in spots and how they can be effective in spots.
What did you think of the impact of Brandon Boston last night?
I thought he was free. I thought he went out there and he had a rhythm to him. He had intention last night, and that was to get to the cup. That was a shooter's jumper. He settled us down, bringing the basketball up. He didn't turn the basketball over, and he made good plays. And he connected with the guys, and I think that's a step forward for him. And I hope he continues to build off of it.
He didn't get to play a ton with the Clippers, but he had some really good moments when he was on the floor. And I think you played against him a little bit. You see him as like somebody that's got some good scoring potential?
For sure. I've actually known him before he made it. Before he went to college and got to the league. I think with the Clippers situation, I think they just couldn't find minutes with him. They got guys that they already had established on the basketball floor, so they really couldn't find no time with him. I don't know his situation with the Spurs before he got here, but I've always thought he was a really good basketball player that could score the basketball and that likes the game. So I've been a fan of him.
You and Z talked a lot last year about the importance of sacrificing, allowing other guys to eat, and that was a big part of why y'all succeeded last year. But in this current situation with all the injuries, you think it's important to kind of shift that mindset and be like, okay, we need to dominate more, we need to set the tone more, knowing what the team needs?
Well, I think it's important to still have a balance, staying aggressive, staying in attack mode, but making sure that we're bringing our teammates along, making sure they're in rhythm. And just bringing energy to the game because at the end of the day, we're going to need everybody.
Yeah, you were really talking loudly, communicating with your teammates defensively last night, pointing out a lot of things. Noticed you had a steal, 2 blocks second half, and then there was one possession against Pascal Siakam, forced Indiana, I think, in a 3-second defensive foul. But what would you say is different about this year, say maybe than last year, for you defensively? Like, are you doing anything differently?
No, I think last night was probably one of my better defensive games. I actually had a awareness. I made some extra efforts. I was more proud of my defense and offense last night. And, I know what it's going to take to win basketball games, and that's for me to be effective on the defensive end. That's for Z to be effective on the defensive end when our other key players get back, for them to be effective, and that's how we're going to win games. We know we can score. We know we can give it whatever we want on the offensive end, but if we make that extra effort on the defensive end, we'll be a lot better.
Yeah, do you feel like you're one of the better defensive players on this team, on this roster?
I think so, especially on ball. When I got a chance to guard some of the primetime players and guys that actually move in the offense, I feel like, that I'm one of the better defenders on the team, for sure.
The last couple of games, Hawk has kind of been trippy with a couple of players. Just what do you make of the edge that he brings to the team? I
like it, actually. To actually hear Hawk talk, it's exciting. It brings energy for our team, and especially when he's out there cooking and he's talking and chirping a little bit. I like it.
Biggest takeaway after reviewing the film from last night?
The biggest takeaway was it was a good collective team win, especially coming off the road after losing three games, getting home. All the guys that touched the floor, they contributed at a high level, and that's what it's going to take over the next few weeks until we can get home.
And what do you think was the biggest change y'all needed to make coming off of that road trip going into that game last night? Kind of the main things you wanted to address.
I mean, it wasn't a huge component that I wanted to address. The biggest thing was, look, we're going to lean on BI and Z more. They're more than capable. They went out and did it. They led on both ends of the floor, and just getting our guys comfortable to play in different positions, different rotations. So once we kind of had that mix that we've worked on a little bit over the last few days, we were able to go out on the floor and execute.
What clicked offensively last night?
Well, I think our defense really triggered our offense. Getting steals, getting deflections. We did a good job at the rim against the Pacers. We got on transition and scored some easy baskets, and I think that kind of opened up the floor for us.
Trey Murphy, I saw him running a little bit. Just how's he doing right now?
He's doing good. He's getting better and better. You saw today he's on the floor running, getting some shots up still, playing a little bit of one-on-one, so he's progressing.
You think Sunday or Monday that's too early right now, like for him to play again?
I don't know the date that we have for him to actually play in the game. We'll give you guys an update as we get closer to that.
People are still getting familiar with Brandon Boston because obviously he's pretty new here. One of the things you like about him is just it seems like he's pretty versatile as far as ball handling, shooting, and some of the stuff he can do.
Yeah, definitely. Versatile. Can defend, can rebound, can shoot the ball, can score, can get us into some sets, and help take some pressure off of Jose and BIZ at times. And so he was a huge component to our win last night.
When BI plays fast, the game is easy for him. He can get to pretty much any spot on the floor that he wants to. But right now, just in the possession that he's using, the team is a little bit slower than some of the other possessions. Just what kind of encouragement or emphasis do you guys need to give him to continue to play quicker, not just in transition, but in the half-court set too?
Yeah, it's a balance to your point. There's times in transition where we want him to play extremely fast. There's times in the half court where he has to settle the gym, but then you can get back to force and playing fast. There's times that he's coming to set a screen that he has to make sure he gets his angle right, and then he can get into a screen quicker. So, it's a continuous progress, and with this team, with our unit, we're shuffling different pieces right now, but BI is going to continue to build off the game that he just had.
That play with 4.5 minutes left, Brandon finds Zion and pick and roll. Do you watch that as a coach and you're like, chef's kiss, I love that?
I think that's more of what's to come. Seeing those two guys, kind of feed off each other's energy. They both are incredible passers, unselfish, but then getting them two in some action, especially late game, we're just trying to simplify everything, get the ball to your best players and let them play.
Y'all went to that about 4 or 5 times late with those two in the pick and roll, and then you flipped it one time and got a bucket. What did you really like about the way they were executing that last night?
Well, what I liked about it is it's something that we have been doing since training camp. We've been working on middle of the floor with our two best players, making sure that we get everybody gets to their spots, get in position, and know what we're trying to accomplish. And to their credit, they went out and executed it.
Yeah, since Will grabbed my question, let me ask you about Eve. What went into the decision to start him, and is that something you're considering doing again since he played well, didn't get in foul trouble, anything like that?
Yeah, we wanted to be a bit faster in the starting lineup. Hawk, Jose brings speed, and then Eves as well. He brings a ton of youth and speed. He also is a really good rim protector, defender, communicator, which helps that group. So that was the thought behind it, and we like what we saw so far, and we'll probably continue.
What was your favorite play? His block or his dunk?
My favorite play was in the third quarter. Eves was guarding somebody in the corner. They had a pick and roll. Javante stopped the pick and roll. Siakam was open in the corner. Eves went from one corner to the other corner, stopped him. He drove the ball, then Eves' man's cut, then he got in front of him again. He guarded three people in one possession. So his ability to have those instincts, for me, was incredible. The rest of the stuff, I expect him to do every game. Dunk on people and block shots.
Speaking of Eve, he's basically a teenager in a different country. His family's not here with him. Just what has been his support system from the team aspect?
Well, he has a ton of support with his teammate, with the staff here. Swing Cash does a great job with her staff of making sure our players and their families they get acclimated here in New Orleans. I can't speak enough about this city and the community, how people embrace you wherever we go. It's really, truly a blessing to be in a town like this. And then Eves, he's a high character young man. He comes from a very supportive family. He has siblings in and out all the time. His sister was here last week at home cooking for him and, making him make his bed and things like that. So, we're grateful to have him. He's such a tremendous young man, and he's really going to uplift our program.
And Hawk's usually a quiet guy. What's it like seeing him get a little fiery these last couple of games, getting into it with some guys?
Oh, he's a competitor. He's not going to back down from people, and we don't expect him to. But he goes out and he plays the game at a high level.
There you go.
To the Shark Tank, huh?
And what's it been like stepping into the situation and getting the opportunity to play and show what you can do?
Honestly, it's been amazing. I just stay ready. I stay in the gym every day, every night, and just put faith in God that a situation like this will come and I flourish.
And what's the key to being as effective as you've been so far?
Like I said, just my work, my getting up at 7 a.m., coming back at 7 p.m., so just trusting my work.
What's the level of comfortability you have with your new teammates? Because it really looked like you guys have been playing for a while based on yesterday's performance.
Honestly, what's so crazy is that was actually my second time playing with those guys. Even I didn't have no practices because I had the training camp deal with the Spurs. So just coming in and fitting right in, guys welcome me with open arms. It's just the energy's there and the respect is mutual.
Who's talked to you the most, or who have you looked more for, or the most advice, like whether a player or coach, BI, somebody?
Honestly, I talk to everybody. I ask questions when I don't know things. That's a thing. I'm a sponge, so I think that just comes with me playing with the vets that I played with my last 3 years. So just getting the information I need from everyone, honestly.
Jose just said that he knows you a little bit from Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about him from playing pickup?
Honestly, me and Jose, we go way back to when I was in 9th or 10th grade playing AAU. So when I played with Sharif Cooper and AOT, he was at Georgia Tech. So their Georgia Tech team would come play our AAU team. We just scrimmage, play fives all day.
How did you guys do against the Georgia Tech team?
Come on now, ask Jose. Nah, we competed though. We competed every day. It was a good bump, and that's all we got asked for.
You've been coming in and picking up guys full court. Has that been a message from the coaching staff? Like that's what you got to do, or is that just something you want to bring yourself? Like, hey, I'm just gonna set the tone when I check it.
It's just setting the tone. I talked to one of my best friends from back home, Cam Bryant. He gets on my, excuse my language, every day about defense. So everyone in the league knows I can score. I feel like just picking up full, showing the defense, showing my physicality is like something new. It kind of throws people off because they are really labeled me as a scorer, but I feel like I can be a two-way player in this league.
And because CJ's out, DeJounte's out, you guys are a little bit short on guards. Last night you had some ball handling dude and just bring the ball up the court, beat the presses and stuff. Just again, what was that like? Is that dialogue from the coaches like, hey, we're gonna put you in these positions so we can get Z and Bi off the ball a little more, or is that what you were prepared to do?
Honestly, I was prepared to do it because a lot of people don't know that I learned to dribble first before I did anything. So that throws a lot of people off. But, just coach trusted in me to bring the ball up, right in the play for me to be the point guard. And also B.I. and Z just telling me, like, yo, bring the ball up. Let me get close to the basket. I'm tired. I don't need to be bringing the ball up. So I'll take that responsibility.
And like you said, you spent training camp with the Spurs, and then you ended up coming here right before the start of the season. What was the reaction when you heard this is where you were going to be after leaving San Antonio?
Crazy is I had no idea this was going to happen. I was getting ready to go back to Texas the night I got the call. So they called me and said they cleared my waiver, so I was ready to go.
B.I. said that he knew you a little bit too before you got here. How did you know him?
I met him probably on that visit to Duke. Probably just our high school. When we were in high school, that's when all the media was bringing out hoop mixtapes and stuff. So I feel like our class, like the last class that did that, right before COVID hit.
Do you know a bunch of other guys on this team? I mean,
B.I., Zion, Jose, Herb Jones, that's my guy. Me and Trey, we've been locking it in. Hawk. I'm just a people's person, so I'm going to go out there and just make people have a good time and make them feel comfortable.
How did that relationship start with Herb? How far do you guys go back?
Actually, Herb played with two of my high school teammates in AAU. So that's how, just playing basketball, just build these relationships around the years, and just being good guys.
That was like, you just look at the points scored per 100 possessions, by far you guys' best offensive game last night. Just what do you think you did? You guys did well on the offensive end last night?
I mean, our stars were being stars. Zion stepped up, B.I. stepped up, and we just followed them. And we started to trust each other, believe in each other. Not saying we didn't before, but it was just something that we had to keep on saying and make sure when we went in this game, we went in confident, and that's what we did.
Willie said that you, Hawk, and Misi all can kind of inject pace around those two guys. Do you feel like that's one of the ways you and those guys can help in that starting lineup is just speed up the game a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's the idea of and that's the reason why they started Yeast, me, and Hawk. To just speed it up. We got two superstars that they're gonna follow us if we do the right things, and that's what they did yesterday.
And you really embraced the idea of being a backup point guard and everything that comes with it, but now stepping in as the starting point guard, for now, what's the key for you to team this role?
Take advantage of it, learn, obviously everybody dream is to be a starting point guard, and, I'm just learning from it and trying to do the best I can. Like I said, the last two games was tough, but, looking forward, trying to just hold it down for these guys to come back, and, then, the rest take care of itself.
You threw multiple lobs last game. Obviously, you've played with Z for a while now, but having Eve as well as a lob threat, just what's that like for you?
Easy. When I get stuck in traffic, I know I got an outlet no matter what. Just off that game, Z, I obviously been playing with him for 4 years, knowing what he's really good at. And then Yeast is just, he an athlete. He gonna make a point guard that does throw a bad pass and make it look good. So, that's what he does for me, and I'm happy to have him on my team.
We noticed Hawk chirping a little bit against Draymond Green a couple nights ago, last night, talking to a few of the Pacers too. Is that kind of a side that you're seeing more and more out of him, especially out in games?
I mean, Hawk always been that guy. It's not a tough act. It's just who he is. That's his play style. You got to be that good and to be that good of a shooter. You ain't gonna shy away from nobody. So he's not scared of nobody. Like he said, he only fear God. So, and I believe him.
What did you like from Brandon Boston last night?
BJ, man, that's my dog. Obviously he's an Atlanta kid. I went to school in Atlanta, so I knew him since when he was in high school. We used to play a little bit 5-on-5 in open gym. And what school he went to? High school? No, Sierra. No, the other one. The one in Atlanta. He went to one. Norcross. No, yeah, he went to Norcross. So we used to go up there and play 5-on-5 with each other. And he always been a special talent. And opportunity. He got the opportunity. He show up, and I'm happy for him.